Cup here on Eurosport. We're still in Cologne, and it's CSKA Moscow taking on BSZ Kosice. The Czechs against the Russians, and look at that Russian lineup. That is basically their national team. Malikov, Makarov, Larionov, what a side, Krutov. No slouches, the side from Kosice. Bozic out there, Svitek, and there's the man who has been the brains and the talent behind the Soviet side, Viktor Tikhonov. And what a coach he's been. He's been around for about 12 years, since 1977, coaching the national side and CSKA Moscow, and he's done a fantastic job.
Well, Paul, we should be in store for an exciting game here. It should be a very tight checking game by both sides. There's no love lost between these teams. They both play very disciplined pattern hockey.
Well, number 31, Alexei Ivashkin, between the pipes for the Soviets as they play in their white jerseys. And if you look on their chest, you'll see something you've never seen before. Advertising, and they're not talking about the planet. Goalie number 1, Jaromir Dragan, who played so well against the West German side the other night. And there are the Sharks going at it. The Cologne Sharks, as they're called, some of their supporters still cheering for them, even though they're not on the ice. So here we start the first period. Kosice playing from right to left in their dark jerseys with those numbers that are really difficult to see. CSKA Moscow touching the puck. Icing is the call. And look for the play coming from Krutov, Larionov, and Makarov. Their first line, the big line, possibly the best line in the world. They have been together, well, who knows, for so many years now. They could play with their eyes closed.
That's right, Paul. The Czechs have got Zubek and Bellis, who are quick, but they're going to have their hands full trying to contain this line of the Russians.
In the Europa Cup last year, in the final, Tesla Pardubice were beaten 2-1 by this team. What can they do with Kosice out there? First chance going to the Czechs. Getting a couple of shots on Ivashkin, and back come the Soviet side. Some nice drop passes here. Makarov stick handling nicely. Makarov takes a shot, and that's steered away as he worked his way in. You can tell when Makarov has the puck, he's got that wide stance, legs spread apart. So difficult to knock over, and he really does love to get his stick up in the corner. So look to him to get a few penalties. Goalie with his stick right out there in front of the player's face. Let's take a look at this breakaway.
There's a shot coming in, and the man came all the way from the high slot, totally on his own. Very seldom do you see the Russians break down so defensively.
And of course, the referee taking a beating as well as the players. They don't have as much padding. Breaking in again, and again, the goaltender comes up with a key save. It's all one-way traffic here in the opening stages. Number 18, Peter Bondra, shaking his head, as is Tikhonov saying, come on, boys, you're letting me down right now. We lost against Bardiestad in the opening stages, or in the opening game rather. Now, backhand shot and a slash coming in. A good save.
That's two opportunities the Czechs have had early, with the Russians looking very flat just inside their own blue line.
Bellas out there in the face-off with Kucherov. CSKA dumping it down the ice. We've got a power play situation. The Soviets with a man in the box. Number 15, Guillaume Bellas, taking his time. Bellas now dropping it back. Still no score here in the first period. The Soviets may have a man in the box, but really, whenever they're on the ice, they're dangerous. Svitek passing it behind the net. He's got Bellas, Svitek dumping it, but not out. Back to the point. A fake shot. Now the shot comes, and the goaltender comes up with a key save on the glove man side. Iveshkin saw that one coming all the way and handled it nicely.
Well, the Czechs want to take advantage of any power play opportunities they get. And in that particular play, the man was open at the point, but there was not a lot of penetration to get in tight on the goalie.
Back come Kosic. Well, a man you can see over the blue line, so they got to go out, regroup, and do it all over again. Baka. That hit the door as the player came onto the ice, and that could have been a bad break for the Czechs. Makarov way out of the play there. Kucherov now. Krutov taking the shot. Still off out front, looking good. And that's in the net. The first goal coming from 19, Vikov. And really, he was left all alone. And I'm sure I would have scored on this occasion.
Well, the Czechs got caught chasing the puck around there, Paul. And as they came racing back to the net, 3 men came back, and none of them hit the player until after he put the puck in the net.
So CSKA Moscow draw first blood here in the first period. They survived the penalty, put on the pressure, and Bikov picks up goal number 1. Just an interesting sideline. Bikov was the cause of CSKA Moscow being fined in last year's European Cup because he changed his number halfway through the tournament when they changed their shirts. They forgot to bring the same number in the same or a different colored shirt for him, and that is a 500 Swiss franc fine. And I'm sure they won't do that again. But who knows, now that they have this major sponsorship, they might do it every game. Kosic trying to get out of their own end. Being shadowed by Kamensky. Back come the Czechs now. Varholik takes a shot. Whistle blows and gives the teams a chance to change lines. They play about 30 to 45 seconds here. No longer if they can help it. And the interesting thing is that when the Soviets are out there, they'll play whoever is on the ice on their power play. They really don't have a number 1 line. I see them as having a number 1 line, but they go with whoever's out there, 1, 2, or 3. That's how much confidence Viktor Tikhonov has in his boys. And that's in the back of the net. Svitek wound up and took that shot. And that's unassisted. And the goalie is beaten.
Well, that was a giveaway right inside the blue line by the Russian defenseman, as we see here, Paul. He had the puck, tried to make the pass, had his back slightly turned to Svitek. Svitek took the puck off the pass very quickly, took the shot, and the goalie seemed to go down a bit quick. And he put it behind him for goal number 1 for the Czechs.
So Svitek, who plays also on the international side, levels the score here in the first period. The Soviets, I remember somebody saying that they were bored with these kind of tournaments. I don't believe it, but they really are struggling in this one. Makarov now. Larionov out front. Kucherov back at the point. Makarov. Still Makarov. You can see that Krutov was dumped by the goalie, and there's going to be a penalty. Tripping is the call right in front of the official. So Kosic will be another man short.
The odd thing about that, Paul, is why did the goalie even have to play the man to begin with? There wasn't a Czech defenseman anywhere near him. He was sitting in front of the net on his own. I think the goalie may have done that out of desperation. As you see the play developing here, the Russians who control the puck so well. Makarov with the puck on the sideboard. Holding on. Still controlling the puck. There it is in front of the net. There isn't a defenseman near that forward.
He tried to trip him once with the other leg, and he missed, and so he said, I'll go for the other leg. I got him that time. The official, Mikhaila, was right there, right where he should be, on the goal line, and he saw that. So now the Czechs are down to 2 men in the box. Larionov dumping it around. Kamensky. Still the pressure on. Makarov forechecking. Malakoff in there. Malakoff now. Oh, they really do spread it out, pass it around. Malikov right on the blue line. Larionov, Krutov right in front. The goalie's down. He poke checks that nicely. Here comes a shot, and that's in the net. Makarov, Sergei Makarov. The shot came from Stelmach, but Makarov, number 24, says, I'm going to pay you back for that trip, and I'm putting this in the net. Thank you very much.
Up until the point that the goal went in, Paul, it didn't look like they were playing a bad box at all. But as the puck goes back to the point, he has a lot of time, takes the shot. There's 3 Russians in front of the net, 1 Czech defender. Not a chance for the goaltender.
So there's the score at the end of the first period. CSKA Moscow 2, Kosich 1. We'll be right back with the second period. Back to the second period. CSKA Moscow 2, Kosich 1. And really, it has been a tight game. The score coming late in the period. Oh, and a good save there by the Soviet goaltender. The Soviets playing from right to left in their white jerseys. Now, what can Kosich do? They had to kill off penalties in that first period. They really were under pressure from time to time, but they had their chances. Svitek picking up the only goal for them. Vikov and Makarov getting it for CSKA Moscow. And CSKA Moscow, of course, looking for their first win of this tournament. They were beaten by Farjestad 4-3 in the opening encounter, and they must shake off that defeat and come back. They have the talent. They have the ability. Do they have the heart? Now, Kostichin. Oh, a nice turn back on the point. Number 15, Vomitov running into trouble. Kusarov now. Well, it seems that the Czechs really don't want the puck out there. Dumped in the center. Going back for it. Kamensky, Stelmach, Davidov now, Kosich head-manning the puck nicely. Zabka getting it out front, no one there to pick it up, and it goes all the way out to center as the teams change on the fly. Danko. Back comes Kosich. Content to fire it in and chase, dump and run as they call it, hoping to get that out front. They do, but no one picks it up, and back comes CSKA. Going in, the shot from number 11, Davidov, and Dragan equal to it.
Well, Paul, those Czech forwards are not going to be able to not back check, and on that particular play they got caught. The Russians came down the ice very quickly.
Nice move there by Davidov as he tried to stick it between the skates. Eventually got the shot away, but Dragan got his pad on it.
You do not want that defense backing in on the goaltender. If the forwards aren't back checking, that's what's going to happen.
So Larionov in the face-off circle. Krutov there, a familiar sight. Makarov, a formidable sight for any goaltender having to face it. Krutov now along the boards. Belas being taken out as he dumps it round. Zubek. Still the pressure on. You can hear the stumping and stamping in the crowd. Back to the point. Fired in front. They score! Krutov, number 9, made it look so easy. He was well positioned in the slot. Kazatanov got the assist, and that makes it 3-1.
There you see, Paul, the puck is moved back and the points are open for Moscow. The man moves in, takes a look, in the slot, he's wide open. That's a one-timer. Krutov makes no mistake on a pass like that.
Well, how many times have they done that over the years? Tikhonov, he never smiles, he never reacts. Let's look at this again.
Okay, as you see the slow motion again, the defenseman moves in, he sees Krutov back up one step, the Czechs are caught.
Krutov again, as the score moves on to 3-1. Dragan happy to jump on that rather, and smother it and call for a face-off. 3-1 the score here in the second period. And this goaltender knew before the game started that he was going to see a lot of that puck.
It's so vital that the Czech forwards stay on those points and don't get caught wandering deep into their own zone. the Russians will make no mistake with the precision pass work that they can display.
Well, with guys back on the point like Kusarov and Kazatanov, and of course Fedosov isn't here. We don't know why he missed the European Cup last year in Switzerland, because they said he had a backache, and he's missed this one outside the Soviet Union. Stefanovic going off the ice, number 24. Let's see if we can pick this one up. There's the high stick, getting him in the face. Not impressed with that, as the trainer looks on, but I'm sure he'll be back. There's no worry about playing with stitches or cuts and bruises in this game. They just get stitched up and sent back in. Now Kosich trailing in this one. What can they do? Ogilny working it in front. Off the shot is wide. It's still CSKA with the pressure on. Stelnov dumping it back in. Kamensky is out there. Vaca fired it down the ice. CSKA turning, they go down in threes, they don't go down one at a time. The shot, number 14, Mogilny makes it 4-1 on a lovely goal, a wrist hand shot. Really did pick that corner nicely.
Just as we just got done talking about this before, Paul, there's not much back checking on the part of the Czechs. The defensemen have to move back. It's a drop pass, he's in the slot for a shot. Not much the goalie's going to do with that.
I really don't think he saw that one. Again, the defenseman backing way in. We're talking 10, 15 feet. They got to make the play a lot sooner.
That's right. The Czech forwards have got to make it happen by back checking so the defenseman can play him at the blue line.
And the Czech player, Stefanovic, still nursing that sore eye. A bit of ice on there. Akela goes over to sort things out on that last goal. There's the scoreline now. The Soviet side from Moscow really turning it on, showing their class. Danko dumping it up, headmanning the puck nicely. They've got to go forward. There is some hesitation there in their play. Ivashkin caught it, threw it out, working their way out front, and they score out of nowhere, and that's going to be waved off. Well, is it? The goaltender is shaking his head. Yankushka may have got a touch on this. Let's look at it again.
Okay, the puck was in the corner, Paul, and it seemed as though everyone was pretty well covered. The defenseman moved out, it was directed toward the net. I believe the Russians are saying it was off the skate into the net.
So they've given the goal 4-2. Yankushka, Milan Yankushka getting the final touch there. A disputed goal, but it brings the Czechs right back into this game. This one is far from over here in the second period. Buzzing around Dragon now. CSKA turning on the pressure. Intercepted nicely at the blue line. Vyazmikin going back for it. Larionov out there. Krutov. Makarov waiting for it high in the slot, as he does. But here's a break for Kosich, working down the left wing. They've got a man in front, and the pass just went off the skate. Danko was calling for it in front of the net. Oh, a nice little play. Krutov, drop pass. Larionov out front. A shot, they fanned on that. A good opportunity from right in the slot to get a good shot away. And again, they try to just tip it in. It's so difficult to mark these guys. They're all over the ice. They know exactly where they're going to be. Makarov was tying his man up as that shot went wide. And it's still all CSKA on this power play situation. Kosich desperately trying to hold it against the boards as Larionov fights for it, along with number 15, William Velas, back to the point, a slap shot. Dragon comes up with a key save on number 32, Zubov, but it's not out. Moscow Oh, not a good pass there, but somehow they come up with it. Then they score! Kazatanov took that pass, which was, in my mind, a bad pass from Kubok, and that makes it 5-2.
Well, I think the Czechs were more fooled by a slow, unintended pass than the Russians were. Makarov with the puck in the corner, seems to fan on the pass. It just trickles into the slot. The Czechs don't move to it quickly. The defender comes in and takes a wrist shot. It's into the net.
I really do think that went in off defender's stick there, but it still counts. A difficult one for Jaromir Dragin to stop. Let's look at it again.
Okay, on the slow-mo, once again we see that the puck was very slow coming out to the point. He stepped into the slot, and that very well may have gone off that defenseman's stick, ball into the corner.
Bykov in the face-off now. CSKA Moscow leading 5-2 here in the second period over their Czech rivals from Kosice. Coming back, the Czechs stopped at the blue line. They run into a sea of white and red shirts. And now a break right in a goal. Well, has he got it? Yes. Jaromir Dragin came up with a save, and he didn't really know that he'd made one.
That was a defensive breakdown by the Czechs once again. The man had the chance to be taken along the boards. He was not taken out. He comes into the net. The Czechs are slow getting back. The goalie makes a nice save.
We move on now to the dying moments of the third and final period. CSKA Moscow in the lead, 5-2. Can the Czechs make a comeback? I doubt it very much. It really has been an excellent performance by CSKA. Number 7, Malikov, taking his time. Still Malikov. To Bykov. Bykov circles the net. Bykov scores! He made it look so easy as he picks up his second goal of the game. A smile from his teammates and makes it 6-2.
Well, Paul, it's easy to see that the Czechs just weren't skating, and Bykov was. He just walked around, kept moving all the way around the back of the net. Nobody's really chasing him very hard. He comes around the net unmarked, shoots into the far corner. A nice goal for Bykov.
So Dragon beaten for the 6th time.
Okay, here we see the slow motion again. Bykov moves around the defenseman. He goes all the way around the net. Nobody's coming near him at all. He puts the puck in the net on the far side with a nice wrist shot.
Just a couple of seconds remaining here. There goes the whistle to end the third and final period. The score, CSKA Moscow 6, Kosice 2. Be sure to join us here on Eurosport for the third and final day of this European Cup tournament, and what a tournament it's turning out to be. So many turnarounds. CSKA Moscow looking very strong indeed after that initial defeat, and they're starting to come back into form. But don't forget, we've got Cologne in there, we've got Kosice, and of course Barjestad. They all have one win in the tournament. They're all perfectly poised. Tomorrow night, it's Cologne, the home side, in front of the home crowd against the might of CSKA Moscow, followed by Kosice against Barjestad. Anyone can win it. That's Thursday evening, 10 o'clock UK time, and 11 on the continent. Bye for now.
At the end of this match, we want to honor the best player of each team.
Tomorrow night, the final can be seen here on Eurosport.